My name is Ophelia and I'm... Oh, no!
It's actually a Shiwa. Then you look at the menu going, what the? Where's a plate of omelette rice?
No.
Yeah.
You're fired.
No.
You can't fire a fairy, can you?
Hey, podcast kittens, it's Cathy Cat.
Ladybeard coming at you with yet another toe-nailing installment of Cat with Beard! We have some remarkable guests in the studio today.
Yes, today's studio looks fluffy, it looks cute, it looks kawaii.
Delightful.
All right, we have some guests because our topic today is Maid Cafe. Everything Maid Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
And we have brought some real maids in.
Real
oh my
maids?
goodness, real
A
maids.
real thing. Legit. Too legit to quit. Ladies and gentlemen, dear maids, one by one, please tell us who you are.
Hello, senpais. My name is Luna and I'm a first-year student at the Ophelia School of Magic. I work in Ophelia Chronicle S in Akihabara. Nice to meet you.
Did you just say first-year student of the School of Magic?
Yeah, because Ophelia is a school of magic. Why? He's laughing at me. I'm doing my best.
I'm impressed.
There is already a magical setting. We're going to go a little bit deeper into that in a moment, but we have one
Wonderful
more.
to meet you, Luna.
Me.
And-
Ready, go.
Hello everyone, I'm TomoNyan. I'm a cosplayer and dancer in Japan. I used to work in a Maid Cafe in Akihabara.
So we have some active and an active maid who actively works in Akihabara and a maid who used to work in Akihabara. We're going to compare because you kind of went to different types of maid cafes because there are actually a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
A lot.
Thousands.
And
It's an institution.
And by this point, because there are so many, they're all starting to set themselves apart with different themes, different things, different additions. And as we can tell, this time it's a school of magic.
Yes, I am a witch.
Ooh, you're a witch.
Yeah, so I use Maid Cafe in English, but the concept is not maids. We are all, witch students, actually.
Witch students,
Yeah.
but also, wow, okay, so you're not necessarily a maid then? Okay, we will have to dig into that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so first of all, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a big umbrella that is Concept Cafe. And that umbrella actually incorporates not just maid cafes, but also animal cafes and all kinds of cafes.
Like
Train
themed
cafes,
cafes, yeah.
ninja cafes, vampire cafes, magical girl cafes. So that's like a concept cafe. So Con Cafe is the abbreviation for Concept Cafe. But the history of the Maid Cafe was in the 1990s. Did you know that it goes back to the 1990s?
Goes that far?
Do them
No
teach
wonder.
you that, or
I did my research. I'm really into it.
can you tell me then?
So I know that in the 90s, the first one was... Can I tell the name of the place?
Sure.
So the first one was Cure Maid, which is still present, and it's very like restaurant-based. They have the long classical maid dresses.
Like
And-
really Victorian.
Yeah, and they're not very like moe kyun. They don't really interact with you, but they just serve you the food.
Cure Maid.
Cure Maid,
Cure
yeah.
Maid.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was just waitresses dressed as maids who brought you your food. So it was essentially just a restaurant, but everyone was wearing a maid costume.
Yeah. And before that, there was a pop-up based on, I don't remember the name, there was a video game with maids. So they did that kind of like a pop-up concept cafe, if you will.
Really?
And it worked really well. So that's where the person who was in charge of Cure Maid got the idea from, as far as I know.
So 1990 was the pop-up cafe, and then they got inspired to do the Cure Maid Cafe.
Something like that, as far as I know. So.
Okay, and that has not. So that was like the very first maid cafe in around 2001, and it has now evolved more and more because it's so popular now.
Very, very popular.
popular.
The Maid Cafe is undoubtedly a super fun experience to be a patron of. You, I imagine, you have had plenty of Maid Cafe experience, yeah?
Yes, I love maid cafes.
So do I. It's so much fun. I love them. We had maids for there are several big chain maid cafes.
Yes.
There's a lot of kind of smaller independent ones as well.
I think once you come into Akihabara, the very first one that you see, I think one out is generally it's Maid Dreamin'.
Maid Dreamin'. We had,
They have like music coming from the speakers and
they do,
such.
don't they? Yeah, good point. As soon as you're in Akihabara, you're not all about Maid Dreaming instantly.
Yeah.
We had maids from Maid Dreaming in our music video for Pianizer.
Ooh, nice. So that's in your music video.
Yeah, it's great. We shot in the cafe. It was wonderful.
Fantastic. Oh my gosh, yeah. I have many stories from maid redeeming. Also, another one that got recommended to me by my friends is At Home Cafe. I've been there before too. They sometimes have collaborations. I went for a Sanrio collaboration. That was fun. But those are just two big ones that everyone knows. But actually, in 2020, there were over 200 maid cafes just in Akihabara, not even counting all the other areas of Tokyo. Just Akihabara. It became like such a big part of Akihabara culture. And I'm so glad we have some real mates here. I don't want to take too much away from actually your job because you have to explain to me in a moment.
Yeah, and so now you just said this original cafe, Cure Cafe, they said there was no moe moe kyun. It was just people dressed as maids bringing you food.
Yeah.
Explain this moe moe kyun to the audience, please.
Yeah, actually, yeah. What can we expect if we go into a maid cafe?
Because
Really
most
plain.
people, if you were to hear the word maid cafe, you would think it's what you just said. It's just, the waitresses are just dressed as maids and that's the end of it. That is not the end of it, ladies and gentlemen. It is an entire operation. So if you guys could take us through the process, please.
So since Luna is like a new type one with like extra things of magic, I would like TomoNyan to first take us like to the basics of a maid cafe. Where is it? What happens when I come into the door?
So, as you said, many people, if they hear maid cafe, they think about the outfits, and I think maid cafes are pretty popular for example, making the writing on the omelette. Yes. So, of course, it's part of the maid cafe, but actually just very little part. In my maid cafe, there was like this whole setting thing. We had to actually like play our roles. As Luna said, her place is like you are all students, right? Mm-hmm. So in my place, we are all maids. But we are like from magical world, and if you come to our maid cafe, you enter the magical world. Oh. So, for example, there are many words we use instead of normal words. And for example, except for maidos, except for maids, there's also some stuff which is helping, and you will never call them stuff. They're actually called fairies.
Oh,
fairies.
Yes, fairies.
So the kitchen staff are actually kitchen fairies.
Yes, it's kitchen Yosei-san. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
wow.
and
It's sensei, so yeah.
Yes, and we don't only use those words in front of the, Goshijin-sama and Ojo-sama. We also use them words in normal, like, our work setting when we are talking with the manager or we are have like
manager fairy.
Yes. Listen here, lead fairy. I'm sick of this. You're gonna pay your eyes, damn it. My fairy rent ain't paying itself. Come on now.
It's like literally your job, name of your job is being a fairy.
So you kind of create a magical setting.
Yes. And you can't really leave this setting, and your job is not only to like be in this setting, you have to bring Goshujin-sama and Ojo-sama to this magical world. You want them like to forget the real world and believe in the world they are in right now.
Wow.
Can you explain what Gochujin-sama and Ojo-sama is and when it actually gets used? Because I love that moment.
Yes, of course. So the literal translation is master and princess. That's how we call the customers. You never call them customers or guests. They are Goshujin-sama and Ojo-sama. And what I really liked in our cafe, we also had words for children because children were allowed into our maid cafe. So if there is a small boy, we call him Obot-chama. And if it's a girl, it's Ojo-chama. So we have calling for literally everybody who
So this is like young lord and young lady, something like that?
Yeah, something like this.
Young master,
Yes, and like master's princess daughter and master's son, maybe something like this. Yeah.
Okay, can we have the typical when you come in, that greeting one from you, please?
Yes.
Please give us your best greeting. Ding! I'm coming into the place.
Okay. So, ご主人様、お嬢様のご帰宅です。お帰りなさいませ、ご主人様、お嬢様。Yeah, it is like the one maid introduces them like ご主人様、お嬢様、ご帰宅です。It literally means the ご主人様 and the お嬢様 came back home because it's like, they're at home. Mm-hmm. And then all the maids are supposed to say the greeting, いらっしゃいませ。Sorry. No, not いらっしゃいませ。No, not いらっしゃいませ。お帰りなさいませ。ご主人様、お嬢様。So they all greet them like they're back to their home.
Oh, so we're kind of having the same dream. I think Japan is really good at like creating that magical atmosphere. You're feeling like you're in an anime, you got home and all of your mates are greeting you.
Yes, exactly. And it's when I tell it people, it sounds like a lots of fun, but since it's your job, it's like we are supposed to say it, and we are trained to do it in high pitched, happy, Genki voice. So there are like rules how you are supposed to say it, and there's this rule you always have to say it. Like, for example, that's what they often tell us. Like we talk with Goshujin-sama, right? So we are in the middle of a conversation. We are supposed to stop this conversation and just reply to the calling. Like, I'm talking with somebody. いらっしゃいませ、ご主人様、お嬢様! And I'm back to the conversation.
But hang on a minute. Hang on. So Cathy Cat and I are having a deep conversation about the exact composition of this omelette rice.
Yes.
And then we have to, and then we have to go back to our serious conversation. Isn't that a bit magical world breaking? Do I have to keep doing this when I'm talking to Cathy about the omelette rice as well?
Well, I think it's like part of the magical world, because one of the magical things is you are talking with your Goshujin-sama about whatever you want to talk, but you are still the maid, so you can't get out of your character. So since you are the maid, another Goshujin-sama or Ojo-sama comes back, so as a maid you are supposed to greet them. If you don't do it, I think this is the moment where you kind of get out, break the magic.
I see.
Nice.
Well, the magical world of maids. Look at this.
Okay.
All right. So that's a kind of a conventional maid.
Conventional maid cafe. So greet the lord and the mistress, the lord and the princess. Well, wait, like the master and the princess when they come.
Welcome them to their magical fairy kingdom.
Yes.
You welcome them, and then I assume you take orders for food and you take orders for drinks.
Yes.
What happens? Is there some sort of magic you do, something
So
special?
in my case, the whole introduction to the menu is also we have script written, and we are supposed to present it as magical thing. There are descriptions for each food, and we also use special words, which I really love it. For example, when we introduce cold drinks, carbohydrated drinks, we instead just saying cola, we have special words. For example, makuro shua shua. So there's shua shua word for carbonated things, and you are supposed not to use the real life words. You have always to use the magical words. I don't think I can tell you the name of the food because
Makes sense.
It's original.
It's branded
from
to that
Yeah, it's
cafe.
branded.
But therefore, do you have to become a regular customer to know what you're ordering? Because if you want to get a Coca-Cola and it's actually a Shiwa black fairy magic, then you'll look at the menu going, what the? I just want a Coke. What's going on here? You know what I'm saying?
So when you are for the first time, we introduce everything, but still we can't really say, it's makuro shua. Okay, actually it's a cola, as you can see. No, we can't say. You still keep on. No, it's makuro shua shua. Goshujin-sama. And there are two types of customers. One who will say cola anyway, with straight face, and one who will still keep the straight face, but they will say I take the makuro shua shua.
Do you ever have customers who just don't get it? Who are just like, what? Shiwa? What are you talking about?
There are lots of
Probably a Ladybeard.
No, Ladybeard, what is this? Washwa, Shiwa, we're crying out loud, we're for an oolong tea. What is happening here?
When there are new customers, I very often feel like they are confused. What is she talking about? And especially if there's group, they just talk with each other so she means a Coke. Yeah, I think she means a Coke.
And you can hear them talk with each other, being confused. We don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah, but I think it's part of the fun. You keep... You stay in your character in this magic setting. So if you suddenly break the setting and you are right, it's just a Coke. It's no. Yeah.
You're fired.
No,
I'm
not.
Can't fire a fairy, can you? That's
Fire
impossible.
fairy.
I see.
In a way, you're acting, right?
Yes.
You have to stay in character the entire day. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. You stay in your character which you created, and you also stay in this old setting, using the right words. As I said, we have a script, for example, for customers who are for the first time. We have whole menu description scripted, and we also have a test where we have to pretend in front of our senpais to the simulation. We have to do the simulation, and our manager and senpais, they grade us and say what we should make better. Or
So they don't just throw you on the floor, you actually have a maid test.
yes, we have training and the test, and after we pass the test, we are allowed to start working.
Let's talk about training and tests in a moment. There is a lot more to a maid than we thought it would be. There is a typical thing, before we move on to like different types of cafes, is a typical thing that happens when the food comes on the table. Is generally that one. There's like a magical ceremony. Yes.
Could you talk us through the process, please?
Okay, so this is what I love doing the most, I think. So, of course, I think everybody knows that the typical thing at Maid Cafe is doing this moe moe kyun thing.
That's like, I love that one.
Yes, I'm not sure if it's all places, but in my place we call it aikome. So it means like we put our love inside it. And we also have actually scripted description what we how we describe it to the Goshijin-sama and Ojo-sama. And well, we have different versions. The one I used the most was that I say, oh, this food is already very, very delicious, but I want to put my love and make it even more delicious, and I need your help. I think people really like this part when they can like participate in this. So we usually say, oh, I need your help, Goshijin-sama, Ojo-sama. I need to do it with you together, because some people are embarrassed, and I think some people don't want to do it. But very important thing, which my manager told me, and I will remember it forever, making people do what they're embarrassed of makes them enjoy it more. Like they break their,
So cringe is there.
Inhibition.
Yes.
No cringe.
Yes, no cringe. Even
Like
if you feel
everyone
cringe,
is cringe already.
Yes,
So you just embrace the cringe.
Let's be cringe together.
Yeah.
So I always make sure that everybody's involved and they do it with us, and then we explain that this is already very delicious, but I want to make it more delicious. I need your help, and we literally explain what they are supposed to do. So I usually say, please make your hands into heart. And I will go from left moe, right moe, and at the end, please put your hands towards the food and say kyun with me together, and put lots of love and magic. And like usually the keywords are love and magic, or like delicioususness, something like that.
Can we try all of us?
If my microphone is an omelet.
Okay. それではこちらのオムライスはね、もうとっても美味しいと思いますけど、もっと美味しくするためにはご主人様とお嬢様にちょっと手伝ってもらいたいと思ってます。それでは一緒にアイコメしたいと思います。とりあえず、最初はやり方教えますね。最初はハートを手をハートのマークにして、左右に萌え、そして最後に全力愛を込めてキューンお願いします。はい、準備は大丈夫ですか？
OK!
はい、それでは行きましょう。せーの、萌え萌えキューン。バッチリです。ご主人様、お嬢様、ありがとうございました。はい。
This is not the most tastiest microphone.
Oh, yeah!
This is gonna be so tasty.
Mike, baby! What I'm talking about? My magical fairy Moya Mike. This is amazing. That was beautiful, Tomo.
Thank you so
very much.
much.
Well, holy moly.
So that's our cafe experience at yours. We ordered shiwa. We ordered food. We got the
We ordered a good time is what we ordered, ladies and gentlemen. And Tomo delivered.
Exactly. Right. What else can we expect if we go into a maid cafe? In your type of maid cafe?
So we also had a performance. So it's not only acting, but also singing and dancing. If you don't want to do it, you don't really have to do it. But lots of maids use it to like get more popular.
Hang on, the maids sing and dance, or the customers sing and dance?
The maids sing and dance.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And well, in my cafe, the funny thing is we don't tell the customers when it's going to happen. So it's like very random. So I really like when there are new people who don't know what's going to happen, and we give them light sticks. Like, just please hold this light stick without telling them what's going to happen. Then usually like the light goes off and the stage, there's like light on the stage, and suddenly you have maids coming out of microphones, and without any like introduction, they suddenly start to sing and dance.
That's adorable. I remember, you want to say something?
No, please.
I remember going for the first time to a Maid Cafe with one of my German friends, and she didn't really like it. She was like, oh, I'm not so happy. I don't know. I don't like this. And she was about to like, you know what? I just want to go. And then that's when the performance came on. And afterwards, she loved it. She was like, this is amazing. And she was just like really excited. So I think the performance, if you're lucky to see one, or at least stick around as long as you can. Sometimes I think you can pay to get a performance, or is that possible?
Oh, I heard that in my dreaming you can do it. Yeah. In our cafe, it was just like part of the entertainment, but you can't plan it. So you have to be lucky to see it.
To see it. Ooh.
So to that end, hang on. So the girls are going, the maids are going on stage, the fairy maids, they're going on stage and singing and dancing. What do they sing and what do they dance?
Oh, actually, we had original songs.
Yeah, those are songs.
Yes.
So the Maid Cafe is like a record label as well.
Yes. The cafe I worked for actually had a label with had a contract with a label. They also created an idol group.
Oh, damn, really?
Yeah,
Wow. For them.
I really wanted to join, but at that time, I just finished my school and had to go back to my country. But I really
so
wanted to be the
close.
idol maid.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So we have food, we have performances. Mentioning that, drawing on food is a typical one as well,
of
right?
course. Yes.
So what kind of drawing comes on food?
So we do drawing with ketchup on the omelette, but we also did like on a coffee with like some sweet sauce.
coffee?
Yes, like it has a kind of like foam, and
I
we
see.
get like the syrup, like chocolate syrup or caramel syrup, and we always asked what they want, and usually people just want cute things. So I think it's common to draw. For example, a rabbit or a cat or a dog maybe, or a bear, kuma. Yeah, and I think the most funny thing I was asked for when I was supposed to draw on omelette, Goshijin-sama asked me to draw his house of dreams. So I started asking him, what kind of house do you dream about? And I ended up drawing a castle.
Oh, nice. Good idea. So you have to kind of come up with ideas on the spot a little bit as well.
And sometimes people ask for anime characters. You know, there's this culture of like oshi. They have favorite character and they want the character drawn on their coffee or on their fruit. It's very difficult, but they're always so nice and helpful. They show you the picture on their phone and you just look on the phone and do your best to do the drawing.
But hang on, and were you an artist before you started working at the Maid Cafe? Were you good at the drawing?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not really good at drawing, but actually I was practicing at home, and we are told that we should practice at home. But still, it's also kind of like
It's cute even if you're bad at it.
yeah,
Like, they
that's
appreciate
true.
the effort.
They appreciate the effort.
And it comes down to like how you act even if you mess up. Like you can still be, oh no, I made a mistake. Well, just enjoy it. It's still gonna taste great or something. I mean, it depends on everyone's character, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can
klutzy
work
maid
around it.
kinda.
Yeah.
Because I'm a bad drawer to begin with. But then once you give me a giant thingamajig and it's not
Yeah.
drawing like this, it's drawing like this.
Yeah, it's harder than people think. Like your arm
Yes.
kind of gets tired
I
at some
imagine.
point.
The first time I tried, it was just a disaster. There's just sauce everywhere.
wanna
I'm
see
like,
it.
whoa. Yeah, I drew you a gunshot wound. There you are. You know, just horrendous.
Have to practice.
Horrendous.
Yes.
So, drinks, food, drawing, performance. Anything else we're missing? Like
Yes.
maybe some...
If you go to Maid Cafe, definitely there's some other entertainment. And in our cafe, there's of course Checky, the Polaroid photo, and you can also play a game with a maid.
Oh, do you have
yes.
to, like, is that something you purchase or does it just randomly
Yeah, you have to
happens?
pay for that. And well, talking about more like realistic things, if there's like photo or game purchased, the maid gets additional money for
Oh,
this.
so it's like you get like a little bit of a
It's an
bonus for
incentive
that.
Yes,
system.
yes.
Commission
Incentive.
based.
Yes,
Okay, that's
exactly.
good.
Thank you.
Since in Japan you can't tip, there's no tipping culture.
Yes.
That's the
I
only way customers can kind of tip us.
Yes.
That is
if
a
they wanna
brilliant
support
way
us.
of explaining that.
It's commission based.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's like the equivalent of tips. If you like that maid a lot, get her for Polaroid picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clever.
Yes.
Sometimes we have like tourists coming in, and at the end where they're paying, they're like, "Can I leave you a tip?" I'm like, "No, that's why I was asking if you want to take a photo with me." Like, I appreciate it, but I cannot. So that's if you're traveling to Japan and you wanna support any of the maids, definitely try getting like chickies or what else? I mean, it depends on the place.
Yes.
Yeah, chickies or
Like in our
games,
games,
lives, whatever they have. Yeah, for them. If it includes like choosing a certain maid which you do that thing with, it usually implies that she's gonna get a tip. So
Oh, that's good
Yeah.
to know. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I will remember that now.
It's very similar to like being an idol, I think. And if you have your favorite maid, if you want to support her, you just buy lots of photos with her and do the games with her. If they're like, for example, foreign tourists who are just visiting once, they are not going to be like our fans. But if there's somebody who likes particular maid, they may end up coming only for this maid. Like, people who, for example, live in Japan, they don't go only for the like experience of Maid Cafe. Usually they find their favorite maid or few favorite maids and they come for them. So usually, for example, they purchase mostly only photos with her and play games only with her.
So it's like
games like
Yes.
Jenga? Or what do you play?
We have, for example, wanikani. It's this when you push the teeth of
the crocodile.
Yes,
the
crocodile. Yes.
Oh yeah.
that's a good one. It's a fun one.
Playing games is fun, but it's also another like complicated system, or how should I say? We had a rule that we have to finish the game in 3 minutes.
Oh, boy.
yeah.
Yep. It's because of many rules. Oh, there are so many rules.
There's probably also you have your time constraint. You still need to serve dishes and take
Yes.
orders. Yeah.
But the very important thing is not to use too much time on one person because other people may feel jealous or feel less important. And it's very important to make everybody feel the same important.
Because they're all Ojo-sama and
Yeah,
they're all
everybody
Goshujin-sama.
Yes,
course.
exactly.
I feel what Tomo just said with the facial expression she said it with of, oh, there's so many rules. That just sums up life in Japan. Just the whole
lot
thing,
of
right?
rules.
You can't just throw out your rubbish without adhering to the rules. Everything has rules.
And apparently there's a couple of maid rules.
Yeah.
Like, sounds like made rules
I
out the
think
wazoo.
trainings and maid rules are something I would love to deep dive into a little bit more in detail. Is there anything else we could do in your maid cafe, or are we already leaving? How long did we stay?
Oh,
3
there's
minutes for
also,
a
of
game,
course,
so-
rule of the how long you can stay. There's 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yes, and if there are not many people, sometimes you can make the
Extend.
It of course everything costs money.
Yeah.
So since it's a con cafe, you have to pay to come into the cafe, except for paying for the food and entertainment. We call it yachin, which means
Rent.
Rent. So you have to pay us the rent to go back to your home.
Hey, are you going to pay to leave? You going to pay to leave again?
You pay the rent for the house.
And then you got to pay to get out.
You don't pay to get out,
Okay.
but you have to pay to come in and to stay longer if you want to stay longer.
But the bill will be settled at the end, right?
You had to
pay Yes. to
get out. It would be like posting bail when you get arrested.
Crazy.
Breaking all the dreams today. But so if we, for example, get one more dish, does that extend?
No.
Oh,
But that's an exception.
that depends, I think, on the
Yeah.
cafe you're in.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
in some cafes that I've been to, if you pay another item or food item, sometimes it can extend, sometimes can't. I think it depends on where you're going.
Yeah.
Yeah. In our place, it's pretty like the rules are pretty strict, and it's like you have 1 hour.
If it's really crowded, it's a really
Especially,
crowded
yeah.
location, they will have like a limit
Yeah.
so other people can join too.
Yeah,
So,
and like no matter if you order like 10 photos and 10 dishes, there's this 1 hour. But of course, if, for example, it's very busy and the maid can't make it in time to, for example, take photo with you and draw on it and give it to you, you can stay until she finish it. But it's also very strict. Like, oh, I remembered we had to practice writing on the photos.
Oh,
And yeah, they would literally set up the timer and tell us
3 minutes?
No, it's like 10 seconds.
whoa.
I mean, it depends. Like, there are like different levels of being Goshujin-sama and Ojo-sama. And for like new entrance level, we can't really do a drawing on the photo. We can just write their name and the date. So we are supposed to do it in like 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And if there's person with higher rank, like there are ranks like silver and stuff.
Like a regular customer.
The higher rank, the more drawing we can do. And yeah, I think there was rule like 3 minutes or something. And yeah, it's also pretty strict. Like the fairy would usually tell the maid if she was too slow, she would take too much time. They would choose. They would tell her that.
Tell them off.
Yeah, you should be able to do it faster because like there are other things to do, and you are taking too long.
Very busy. I mean, that also goes into the Japanese culture that if you see people in the industry, they're always doing something. Even if you just go for shop stuff, they're constantly doing something. You never just see them hang about, and I guess you guys have to kind of entertain a lot of guests at the same time. Yeah. Wow. Dude, so we had that. We got our checky. We're leaving. What do you say when we're leaving?
ご主人様、お嬢様のお出かけです。いってらっしゃいませ、ご主人様、お嬢様。
ありがとうございます。
Which translates to?
The ご主人様、the master and the princess are leaving. How do you translate いってらっしゃいませ?
Have a good trip.
Have a good
Have
trip.
a good time outside the house.
Yeah, but also itterashai also has to come back. It has the sense of they're leaving on a trip, but they're gonna come back.
Yeah, I think that's very important, and there's this meaning also that you will come back again.
Fantastic! So this is a classical Maid Cafe. But there's much more to tell. We're now then in our next episode going to focus a little bit more into a more themed con cafe. And then maybe we also talk about some secret rules, maybe?
Yes, let's
training.
Well, there's always a new rule to discuss.
That is good. So now we know the basics of what a maid cafe is, what you guys have to do when you get into a maid cafe. And next episode is going to go deep dive into the truth of maid cafe work. Right.
So, where do people find you both on the internet? Internet.
Find me on Instagram. It's TomoNyan_cosp. Because it's cosplay. I do cosplay.
Cosp.
Cosp. I didn't do it.
Deviation from the traditional cos. Throw that P, spread a bit of extra spice.
You got so serious when you said cosp. You're like, TomoNyan! Cosp.
I wanted to everybody to be able to hear it.
Welcome to the Royal Marine Cosp.
Yeah, I remember cosp.
All right, so hang on. TomoNyan_cosp.
Yeah, I think it was cosp.
On all the things, the Insta, the Twitter, all
yes,
that.
I have Twitter. It's Tomo_Nyan_des. I do also YouTube. If you write TomoNyan, you should find it. If no, just search for TomoNyan Jesus Christ dance.
Wait a second. Hang on, just a minute.
Very popular.
Hang on, just a minute. That whole thing just suddenly took a huge detour.
Went somewhere else.
TomoNyan Jesus Christ dance.
Yes. What? It's a video I made ages ago, but it got very popular.
Okay.
It got very popular and if you search for me on YouTube, that's the first video which comes out.
Do you usually say that to people you meet for the first time? Like, hi, I'm TomoNyan. Just Google Jesus Christ dance.
Jesus Christ, damn.
Since I'm trying to live in Japan, I just give them my name card, my badge. It's much easier.
Good. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your insight, TomoNyan. We're still looking forward to having your insight in the next episode.
And Luna?
And Luna, your social media.
Yeah, you can find me at Luna_Ophelia on Twitter and Instagram and also on YouTube and on TikTok. And yeah, make sure you follow Ophelia because we have stores all over the country in Japan. And yeah, that's
Can you
pretty much
spell
it.
Ophelia, please?
Ophelia is AFILIA. Ophelia.
Oh, fantastic.
Good job.
All right.
All right, happy
Where
days.
is
Well, thank you,
loads
ladies.
more?
We'll be back again in just a minute with another exciting episode. Until then, we'll thank you. I messed up that outro. You want to go? I messed
Took
that
a
up.
deep breath.
You go,
All right.
you
Well,
go.
see you next week with another really entertaining Goshujin Summer supporting episode of
Cat with Pin!
いってらっしゃいませ。せーの。
いってらっしゃいませ。ご主